Hey gang, the episode you're about to listen to was first released as a Patreon exclusive bonus show in November of 2023. We've since shut down the Patreon, but figured it was worth sharing again as it was a fun episode, and most of you never got the chance to hear it. So, without further ado, we hope you enjoy this now Leftover Pizza Bites show all about terrible Christmas specials.
Hello there, everyone, and thank you for subscribing to our Patreon bonus portion of the Leftover Pizza podcast. Derek, what you been up to?
Bonus. Well, as you also did, I'm sure, just ate a whole bunch of food and spent a ridiculous amount of time with my family over the past 4 days. I know that you've been sweating it out because we are down to the wire here for November, and we're like, crap, we have to record another episode. But in between all the visiting and working and Black Friday shopping and eating, I've been trying to get myself really full throttle into the holiday spirit, Grammy. And I want you to tell me if this would work for you. Hold on. You ready? I got the analog pocket out.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, what's that? Oh. Oh.
Ooh, that's different. That's different.
That's different. That's a little different, isn't it? As you know, because we talked offline, because we always talk offline, I've been playing myself a little Super Mario Bros. Merry Mountain Christmas Adventure on the birthday gift that I got, the little analog pocket here.
That's so cool.
This thing, it's a ROM hack, first and foremost. And if those of you listening might not be privy, let me pause this because it's a little loud. If you're not privy, it's when people take old existing video games and they put their own unique spin on it. So there exists a version of Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo that's been all Christmased out, man. It's all holiday blinged out. There's snowy mountains, and everybody's got little Christmas presents, and they're talking about the big day coming up, and it's been working for me this year. I'll tell you what. So that's what I've been doing to get myself a little bit relaxed amongst all the chaos of the start of the holiday season. What about you?
I just want to say before I get into it, after you sent me the ROM hacks, I had to look every single one of them up, and I found like even more of them, and I just kept watching each and every one of them. It's like, this is fucking... I haven't played any of them yet, but I plan to pretty soon. So I just wanted to take this time to thank you for sending this my way, because there's nothing cooler than Mario in a Christmas land.
It's true. I mean, we've been, obviously, if you're listening to this, you're what I deem to be a Leftover Pizza superfan. So you've been seeing all of the Pepsi Christmas Nintendo ads that Grimey's been posting.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that you're just watching or looking at all of these old Nintendo Christmas ads, commercials, print ads, whatever it might be, that's posted all over social media this time of year. So you're our people. And just know that because you're our people, there's actually a way to turn those beautiful ads into a playable experience. So hit the Goog. You can find it pretty easily. It's worth your time.
Absolutely. But what have I been up to get into the Christmas spirit? Well, it doesn't really take me too much. I buy a couple of candles. Tonight's candle is Winter from Bath and Body Works. It's by White Barn, their White Barn brand, I guess.
Can I just interrupt you for
half
a second?
That's good.
And just say that you're putting on airs for the purpose of starting the show, because we all know, even everybody listening, that you started Christmas on November 1st. So this is really just
November 1st. Yep.
A really elaborate segue into you telling us what tonight's episode is all about.
Well, okay. Well, what I was gonna say is that I do indeed have the candle going. I got my tree in the background here, and one thing I really like to do is watch some Christmas specials.
In addition, while you're watching them, do you remember that scene from The Simpsons where Milhouse's mother gets the jacuzzi suit? Do you recall that?
I do. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So that's what is happening right now on FaceTime. Is Grimy actually has that suit on, but it's full of eggnog.
Eggnog.
So he's been taking eggnog jacuzzis in his eggnog jacuzzi suit and watching Christmas specials.
Yes, not just any eggnog, by the way. It's a very specific Southern Comfort vanilla spiced eggnog, okay? I know, I talk about it a lot, but it's not stopping anytime soon.
It's all right. You're passionate. That's good. And maybe, we can contact Southern Comfort and tell them to subscribe to the Patreon, and then they can hear you gushing about it, and then they'll sponsor us for talking about it on a very limited show that only a few people listen to.
Yeah.
Maybe. You never know.
But what is tonight's
Anyways.
little Patreon bonus about? Tonight we are delving into shitty Christmas specials.
Shitty. Very shitty.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of them out there. I know that there's plenty of you out there that have actually suggested some to us that I haven't seen, and maybe Derek hasn't seen. But we're going to talk about two in particular, both from 1994.
So, without any further ado, would you like to kick off the festivities, the shitty festivities this evening?
I would absolutely love to. I'd be honored.
Oh, take it away.
Hey, kids, what do you think? Do we need more lights? We need more lights!
They're coming, they're coming! Hey, kids, how about hoping me sing my favorite Christmas song? Take the holes with pepperoni, fa la 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 la. Mustard, eggplant, and bologna, fa la 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 la. Santa Claus will bring his reindeer, fa la 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 la. In the sewer, how will they get here? Fa la 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 la.
They laugh, they sing, they do their thing. They're the Turtles in their monstrosity of a Christmas special called We Wish You a Turtle Christmas. Who didn't see this one coming?
Well, you are the Turtle Man as much as you are the Jacuzzi Suit Man. So it makes a whole lot of sense. One in one hand and one in the other. That's Grimy boiled down in a nutshell, Turtles Christmas Jacuzzi Suit.
So I know this one's a little bit too on the nose, but I mean, one other time am I actually going to be able to talk about this and be serious about it? This is it. This is my one and only chance. So
I
buckle
thought you
up.
were asking. It was a rhetorical question. I see. I was going to say, next Christmas, the
Next
Christmas following, the next 50 Christmases, next July, Christmas in July.
Yeah. All right. So if you're not in the know, this is around the time the Turtles kind of were losing their luster. They'd already been around for 10 years prior to this. That's a long time.
Incredible.
Yeah, it is. Like, no one ever thought that they were going to make it this far, including Playmates themselves. They said right away, like, you're going to have a couple good years. After that, things kind of just go downhill. But hell, we're here now, and Playmates Toys is still pumping toys out. They might not be the ones we want, but they're on the shelves, so it is what it is. With things like Power Rangers coming around the corner, if you weren't a diehard TMNT fan, inevitably you kind of moved on from Turtles. This special was their kind of last hurrah. This is like their stab at being, in my opinion, like a Barney and Friends kind of thing.
I'm so glad that you brought that up at the top of this, because confession time, I've never watched this in full up until you decided that you were picking that for this. I've watched clips here and there. It's been sitting on my Plex server for like 2 years now, and I just haven't had the guts to watch the full thing, because I'm like, you've showed me the rap a few times, and I fucking hate it. Like, there is no getting around it. It's like one of my least favorite things I've ever experienced, and that's not being hyperbolic.
No,
that's real.
No,
life.
it's not. And what's really sad is the rap's probably the best one on the album.
Yeah, you're not lying about that. That's pretty true.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you mentioned it's very Barney and Friends, because all I could think while I was watching this, and it's kind of a running theme for this evening, I've mentioned it many, many times in the past over the past few holiday seasons doing leftover pizza, reminds me of Barney's Waiting for Santa Christmas video. One that my sister was absolutely obsessed with as a kid, which I mention again was weird because I was the Barney kid. I was the firstborn. I was all about and obsessed with Barney throughout my toddler years. She didn't really grow up with it and didn't really care about Barney. So the fact that she latched onto that tape was really weird. And when I say she latched on, that thing was like a security blanket for her, especially throughout the Christmas season. So I know that, like, backwards and forwards. And unfortunately, yeah, Turtles shares a lot in common with that and with Barney in general.
This reminds you of it, huh?
Weird.
I could see that. I've watched bits and pieces of whatever the fuck Barney does for Christmas. But yeah, it's similar. Yeah, it's very similar. You're not going to see any martial arts or crime fighting in this one. It's just a bunch of really horribly costumed turtles dancing around and singing to kids. It has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb. That's very
generous.
Short 20. It's very generous for a 23-minute film that had a budget, an estimated budget of $5,000.
Is that real, or are you making that up?
That's the estimated budget on IMDb. So
Wow,
I have to assume that's accurate.
Okay, well, you know what? This is actually incredible. If it really truly was about 5,000, should I bring up my inflation calculator again for this?
Please do. Please do.
Should that be a running gag?
Yeah.
Okay, for you, I'll bring up my inflation calculator.
Oh my God.
All right, so okay, based on 1994 pricing,
Yeah.
If we spent $5,000, Grimy. Jesus Christ, it's $10,000.
So it's doubled.
Days.
Yeah, you know,
It's doubled, but that's still nothing.
Yeah, what's really ironic though,
Turtles?
I feel like this special could have got away with like a $1,000 budget. Like, there's no way did they really put $5,000 into this? Like, I feel like it's even
Not
less.
into the costumes.
It's certainly
that's
not.
for sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But I'm glad that you brought that up because yeah, the costumes look absolutely fucking haggard.
Oh yeah.
But before we get into that portion of it, I just want to say, imagine only spending 10 grand on this thing in today's money. And like just knowing that because the turtles are in it, you're going to sell like 200,000 tapes. Like maybe more, maybe less.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it sold, but
I don't know.
I'm going to have to assume it sold pretty well.
I'm pulling crap out of my ass, literally and figuratively. Okay. I'm just saying, you just know that you're going to sell a buttload of these to kids. And like that $10,000 is like a drop in the bucket. Like this is going to print money, regardless of if it's bad, if it's good. It didn't matter if you spent more money or not. Kids are going to buy this shit up.
Yeah, totally. So a little bit about the plot before we get into the turtles themselves. It's 5:00 on Christmas Eve, and the turtles are celebrating the end of their Christmas shopping until they realize no one bought a gift for Splinter. So now they have to go back out from the sewer and find gifts for Splinter, all while making little musical pit stops along the way. Yeah, eat your heart out, I guess.
Now, you mentioned how they had to come up out of the sewer and go up to the real world and buy gifts for Splinter. You know what I was like hoping the whole time in watching this?
What's that?
Watching them leave the sewer. I was just hoping, and I know it was such a long, like it was never going to happen. But you know how fucking funny it would have been if they walked past a frozen Herman in the sewer?
Oh, man, that would have been so cool.
There's got to be a way to edit that together to make it look like the turtles are passing by a frozen Herman from Scrooge.
You idiot! You should have stayed with Claire!
Or just take that scene from Scrooge and the audio of the turtles singing, put a little reverb on it and make it sound like they're off in the distance, so like they're taking place in the same universe. Somebody make that happen.
Somebody please
make that happen. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna watch out on social media. That's gonna be the next edit that I throw down. Okay.
All right, so we talked a little bit about the plot. Let's get into the actual turtles. We already discussed they look pretty horrendous, but really, what little details can we tell you? To start out, anybody who's seen the New Lines film, the 1990 film, you know that they did a really, really good job. They tried to hide everything as best as they possibly could. There's very minor discrepancies, but they're like the discrepancies are classics. Like everybody points them out. Everybody's aware of them. This one don't hide shit. All right, like this hides nothing. All right, every strap, every little seam. I mean, you understand that these are people in turtle costumes.
It's like their skin is loose because the fabric was not form fitting. Like the best way I can describe it, if you've never seen it like me, imagine that the production crew went into their local party store and said, I need to rent 4 Turtles costumes, please. And I need them for 48 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Had to. I actually had kind of a theory. I was wondering if maybe the crew was just like making bets behind the scenes and was like, how can we make this look as shitty as possible but still pass it as Turtles? Like, how can we do this? They managed to do it. This is it. They did it. Like, there was a tour, the Coming Out of Our Shells tour, which was kind of similar. This is even worse than that, which is like crazy.
I was going to say, Coming Out of Their Shells tour looks like a proper Broadway production with like a high budget and great costuming compared to this.
Yeah.
This is literally like somebody had a video camera and access to a sewer for 2 days and they made whatever they wanted to make. Like, it didn't feel like there's actually a full production behind this, especially looking at those suits. Like I said, they're wrinkly. The mouths don't really move very well. The eyes are dead as they've ever been.
The grinning never stops.
It's actually impressive. Yes, exactly. It's actually impressive with the eyes. Because, you know, in CGI, when people talk about how CGI has dead eyes, if it's bad CGI sometimes, it's getting the bad CGI dead eyes while still being a full physical product that they're wearing. Yeah. So I don't know how they manage
CGI
that.
dead eyes IRL. I mean, it's there. It's fucking weird.
Pioneers, really, in a way. If,
they did it before it was cool.
This is really a landmark film. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but no, their faces are very like ventriloquist dummy-like. Like they just kind of, hey, it's very strange. They don't move with the words right. I actually noticed that the bottom row of teeth actually moves up and down from the gums, and it's like very unnatural looking. I don't know what that was all about.
I didn't notice that, and I don't want to go back and rewatch it. That just sounds absolutely horrid. It would make my viewing experience even worse, and I didn't know that it could get worse. So I'm glad that I'm armed with this knowledge now to just not go back, because then I'd be looking for it.
Did you see Splinter? Splinter's just like a ball of fur with a face. I don't know where his face is half the time.
Again, I just think that this was a local costume shop's attempt at Ninja Turtles. And they were like, yeah, these will work for this. We don't have much money.
Totally. Yeah, I'd like flip a coin. Like, which one are we going with, a ball of fur or like the steel wool? What are we doing here for Splinter? I don't know.
Some poor production assistant was up the night before making all these costumes by hand, and they realized that they made the 4 turtles but still needed to make Shredder, so they shaved their dog and taped it to the guys to the actor's head. They're like, it's fur. I don't know, man. It'll be fine. Kids are stupid.
I was honestly half expecting like Cartman's hand for J-Lo to be there. Maybe that could have been April O'Neil. I don't know.
In another universe, probably.
So, all right, that's characters. Let's talk a little bit about the music. And there's a lot of music in here. Obviously, it's a musical, and we're not going to hit on every single one. I'm just going to highlight a couple of my personal favorites. We have to start with the Rastafarian version of Deck the Hall, sung by Leonardo in this very, very Jamaican accent.
Yeah.
Skiddly-doodly-doo-doo.
Doesn't fly in 2023. Listen, if anything, I don't even know how to word it. It's
horrible,
bad.
Man.
It's just, it's just bad.
Yeah.
You watch it and you're almost stunned with how offensive it is and how offensive they went with it. You're just like, So that's the choice that we made. And for seemingly no reason. It didn't need to be a Rasta.
That's the whole thing. It's like, what kid was like, yeah, I'm into Rastafarian music. Like, did they just have a fucking dartboard with different genres and they were just like, boom, oh, landed on Rastafarian music. I guess we're doing some Jamaican music now. Like, why? Who was this necessary?
My theory is that they had went out to that same costume shop, and there was a Drew's Famous karaoke CD there. And they picked it up, and that's also what they used for the backing tracks. So they didn't actually create any original music for this little special at all. They just used whatever was on this CD, and it just so happened to be a Rasta-style version of the song, and they just went with it.
I mean, all around, I can just go quickly here. Like, the whole playlist is just kind of jacked. We have Michelangelo singing opera at one point in Times. Is it Times Square? Or is it? Yeah, Times Square. He's singing in Times Square while the rest of the brothers are decorating a tree. He's doing his little version of "Oh Little Town of Bethlehem," and it's again, what kid listens to opera? Like, they were trying to go out with a last hurrah here, and they chose Rastafari music and opera in the same special.
Yeah, it was weird, and I think they're going for a joke that Mikey would be the last person to be into opera, maybe. I think that's the joke, but like, what kid is gonna get that joke?
I barely got that joke. Like, I'm still trying to comprehend it now. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Oh, I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. I want to actually backtrack a hair from the Times Square scene. When they're coming up from the sewer, they pass by Herman, and they're suddenly in Central Park. There's something that didn't rub me quite the right way, and that was there's a bunch of kids out at like, what did we say? This was like 5
o'clock,
6 o'clock
probably.
at night.
Yeah, so now it's like
but
6:30.
Dark.
Yeah,
it's like dark as hell because it's the winter months. Obviously, like we've probably. The darkest night of the year was only a few days before this. And there's 3 kids just out, playing stomp-like music, banging trash cans and trash can lids together. No parents. And I had to wonder, like, are these kids okay? Are they homeless? Like, do I have to worry about that? Like, do they have a bed to go home to? Why are they hanging out with mutant turtles in Central Park by themselves in the dark? Like, what's happening there? Very concerning stuff.
And vice versa. Like, what are the turtles doing hanging out with a bunch of fucking kids? Aren't they supposed to be ninjas? Like, why are they hanging out in fucking Central Park and Times Square just hanging out with kids? Super weird, man.
I agree. They were taking a page out of Michael Jackson's playbook, and not the play to be taken from the playbook.
Not little Michael.
Take dance moves, take some, singing cues out of that playbook. Don't be taking the Macaulay Culkin weird plays from it.
Yeah.
Don't be hanging out with the kids, having a good time. And don't put it on tape for people to see. It's all wrong all around.
It's
wrong.
It's strange. So the last song I want to highlight here is their version of the 12 Days of Christmas, where the 12 gifts are replaced with gifts that the turtles all got for Splinter. I just want to run down the line here, what they got this dude. 12 April O'Neil autographs, 11 pairs of sneakers, 10 yellow yo-yos, 9 narrow neckties, 8 chopsticks, 7 silk kimonos, 6 frisbees, 5 video games, 4 manhole covers, 3 skateboards, 2 comic books, and a pizza with pepperoni. Manhole covers. What is he going to do with 4 manhole covers?
Well, 1 for each son. It's more symbolic than anything.
That makes sense.
Art for the sewer home walls, perhaps?
Maybe. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the sewer needs some kind of Monet on the back there somewhere.
Right. Listen, so I really take issue with 1, and I question another gift.
Okay.
All right, so the one that I really take issue with is the 12 autographs from
April O'Neil. Yeah.
Why does he need 1 autograph, let alone 12?
Right.
For somebody that he hangs out with on the regular.
Yeah, that silly bitch is there every single day in her stupid banana raincoat. Like, why does he need a million different autographs? She's just standing there like, here's one, here's another one. Do you need 12 of these fucking things? What are these turtles' problems?
And the biggest problem is that this is pre-eBay.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if this were in the eBay era, he'd be selling them online, and that's some free scratch for the guy, like, here, sell these online, $50 a pop. You'll make a pretty little penny here, Splinter. Little work, but like that's not a totally thoughtless gift.
Right.
But this is pre-eBay. What's he gonna do with that shit, man? Wipe his ass with it?
Probably.
What? No, trick question. Rats don't wipe
Rats
their
don't
ass.
they just shit. That's it.
And they move on.
Yeah. All right. So what's the second one? What's the one you have question?
All right, the one I have a question on, obviously, and it's not a big question. It's a simple question. 5 video games.
Okay.
All right. We never see what the video game is. We don't know if it's 5 of the same video game or 5 different video games. This is 1994, so, 8-bit stuff is still popular, but the 16-bit stuff has taken over at this point. And there's still, I think there's maybe a hair of 32-bit.
I want to say
there's computer games.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm curious myself because, like, if we're talking, like, I don't remember. I think Sega Saturn came out in '96, but let's say it's '94. When that hit the scene, it was like $400, almost $500. What the fuck do the Turtles do?
I was
man?
thinking the Atari. I think Atari Jaguar was
The
out
Jaguar.
at that point. They were touting it
right.
as a 32-bit system. Is Splinter a Jaguar guy? Is Game Boy? Are we talking about some game or Game Gear even?
Game Gear?
I need to know. Or and this is maybe the most likely scenario. Are they broke as hell because they're both teenage and mutant turtles, so they can't afford anything? Are they just, buying up some old Atari 2600 games? Do they only have an Atari down there?
Oh, I don't.
You see?
Maybe they just gave Splinter a bunch of rocks and like, here, it's a video game. He doesn't know any better. Does he know any better? I don't know.
It's true. He's a rat. Why would he know anything about anything?
True. I think the one I have the question for is the neckties. Does Splinter have like a fucking office job that I don't know about off the side?
Maybe that's how they're affording to pay for all these video games.
He's a very successful businessman.
Maybe he goes to work at Kinko's every afternoon.
I can see it.
And listen, he probably looks like your average Kinko's employee. Yeah. So no harm, no foul.
That's true. This is the Kinko's from the Chappelle Show, right?
Yeah, exactly.
My butthole itches, but I took a shower. Can I help you?
Santa Claus will bring his reindeer. Fa la 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 la. In the sewer, how will they get here? Fa la 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 la.
And now a brief message from Derek's aunt.
Just want you to know I did pick up the batteries today, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Oh shit!
She lives upstairs and she's calling to tell me that she bought batteries.
That makes it so much better. Oh my god, I love it.
So if you want a little context on that, we are coordinating, her and I, with candles in the window candles, and they take batteries.
Gotcha.
So,
that makes sense.
So it ties back. It's very Christmassy. I'm glad that we could make this a little more personal for you folks. Anyways, let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
Man.
Do you know what else is Christmassy?
The Christmas specials
yes.
that we've chosen. I decided to go with one of my favorite worst specials. And it's not worst by my calculations.
Right.
It's worst in the eyes of everybody that's subjected to listening to this for a half hour every Christmas.
Right.
So my family, my girlfriend, passersby on the street who happen to hear the high-pitched squealing of Alpha 5 from the Power Rangers Alpha's Magical Christmas Tape.
Hey kids, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers have a special gift for you. One that will make your holidays a lot brighter. It's my Magical Christmas home video complete with your favorite songs. Join me and the Power Rangers for music that will make your holidays more phenomenal.
Also released in 1994, like you had previously mentioned. So
Yeah.
kind of funny how we coordinated a same year thing here. And even funnier that 1994 is apparently the black hole of Christmas specials.
Dude, it is. It really is. How
It's
wild.
like, how do you produce not one, but two of the worst Christmas specials to ever exist, and they release in the same year?
Yeah.
And they're like hits for their respective intended audiences.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, I'm sure that Alpha's Magical Christmas also had a similar next to nothing budget compared to the Turtles, because they're just taking a hell of a lot of like stock clips.
Oh yeah,
just cutting them
totally.
together for
Yep,
this.
yeah, I noticed that right off the bat. I did have this VHS when I was a kid. I got it for Christmas. I only watched it like once that time that I had it, and I don't think I watched it again since. So like getting back to it now, I'm half and half on it. I'm partial to it. Not gonna lie. It's not the worst thing, but it's not like it's definitely not good.
It's mid.
Yeah,
as
it's
the
very,
kids say.
it is, man.
It's pretty mid,
Mhm.
mid to bad actually.
Yeah.
But so I never had this growing up, but I did see it while I was growing up. I think I've mentioned it previously on like older Christmas episodes that we've done, but my cousin that I've mentioned, he had gotten Gooey Louie as a Christmas gift. He also had Jingle All the Way on VHS growing up, so that's the only time I had ever seen Jingle All the Way.
Nice.
When I was a kid, until I finally got a copy of my own like 10 years later. And he had this because he had a lot more Power Rangers tapes than I did when I was a kid. And so he must have brought it down to my grandmother's on Christmas Eve, because that was the place that we would all convene, that side of the family, for Christmas. And he used to bring tapes a lot to her house, so we would watch whatever he would bring. So that must be how I ended up watching this. One Christmas Eve, I was probably, 3 or 4. Never really left a big impression on me. I'm sure that I liked it well enough at the time, because I can guarantee you, I wasn't really watching it when it was on.
Yeah,
I was probably way more excited about the fact that Santa was going to be walking through the door in a half hour, or busy avoiding eating my dinner because I was too excited for the Christmas presents I was about to open in an hour from now.
Yeah.
So if anything, this was background noise for me, for me then and for me now.
I could understand why one wouldn't get excited about this one, though, at the same time. Much like the Turtles thing, there's not like any crime fighting or martial arts or anything. Like for me, the big draw for both the Power Rangers and the Turtles was like there's going to be fighting and shit. There's going to be ninja stuff happening, and that doesn't happen anywhere between either of these specials.
Here's my biggest problem, is that yours, the Turtle one, if you look at the cover, if you're at Blockbuster, if you're at Toys R Us, wherever you buy your tapes or rent your tapes, and you're looking at that cover, the Turtles one has all the turtles on the cover.
Yeah.
And it is representative of what is in that special.
That's true.
Like the turtles are all over it. So the lack of crime fighting, that's sort of a minor quibble, but at least you're getting
what it promises.
Ninja Turtles throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
This Alpha's Magical Christmas, like the way that the cover pitches this one is, yes, he's the largest character on the cover, but we're still seeing all of the Power Rangers and Santa right next to him on the cover. So if you're a kid and you're picking this up, or if you're a grandparent or a parent and you're picking this up for the kid, you're thinking, oh, good, those Power Rangers. My kid loves those Power Rangers. He's going to be all over this one. Yeah, well, Alpha's Magical Christmas should be in bold caps, like 128-point font, because it literally is Alpha and Zordon and a bunch of kids for the whole, like the entirety of it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that's pretty much
We
it.
get a little pop in towards the end of some Power Rangers who pop up quickly at the tail end of it. Like they were coming to set that day anyways, and they were like, okay, we're already in costume. We'll just pop in for 5 minutes and you can record us and then we'll be on with our day. but it's a little misleading.
It is.
The picture on the front of the cover here.
Yeah. So a little bit about the plot. Alpha is in, what do you even want to call it? The command center? I don't remember what it's called.
Command center. That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Alpha is in the command center, and he's all by himself with Zordon. It's Christmas Eve. Alpha feels a little bit lonely, right? So Zordon's doing...
It's what? What night?
It's Christmas Eve.
And he's only wrapped 2 fucking presents Christmas Eve, and he's only wrapped 2 fucking presents, and he shit in his pants.
Yeah, it's bad, man. He's behind. But
sorry, I had to take the opportunity.
That's good. You take your shot when you do, you know?
Thank you.
So he's alone. Zordon's doing his best. He's being a real fucking crybaby, if I'm being honest. He's got Zordon there. What, Zordon's not enough company for you? No. He's just like doing everything he can to help little Alpha have a good time on Christmas Eve. So he like zooms in a tree and all kinds of other weird shit. And then what does he do, Derek? I know you're dying to get to it.
Wait, no, because I'm making myself laugh now because you're talking about how it's lame that Alpha is sad that he's alone on Christmas, and you're like, but he's got Zordon. What's the big deal? I know it's not the same, but the way that you're pitching it, it's almost like you got this depressed family member at the holidays. They're all by themselves. They live alone. And you hear that they're depressed. And instead of being like, oh, that poor person, you're like, well, you got a cell phone. You got Siri on that cell phone.
Totally.
You're not alone. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Siri will keep you company, won't they?
Hey, man, if you got to just, Alexa, play some tunes. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, you know? That's typically what Zordon is, right? He's just Alexa, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Siri, Alexa, Cortana, whatever the fuck you guys use.
Yeah.
He's basically that. So, anyways, yes. Sorry to get off topic.
That's all right.
That really that made me laugh. So yeah, Zordon's solution for Alpha's sadness, the cure for his sadness, is pushing a green button. And once they push that button, they abduct kids from all over the world,
man,
to spend Christmas Eve with a robot and an AI.
Yeah. And they don't seem very distraught about it. They actually look like they were waiting for it to happen. Like, oh, here we are.
Stockholm syndrome is what that's called. Right? They're told that they're having a good time, and they believe it. You know.
Oh, they're being gaslit.
Just sing. Yeah, just sing carols with the weird AI bald man and the high-pitched voiced little robot C-3PO man, and you're having a great holiday. Don't think about your family. Do not think about your family. They don't love you, only we love you now. And we'll feed you if you sing.
Zordon, I want to go home. You didn't just say that. What you actually said was, and he pulls out a little tape recorder. Gee, Zordon, I'm having a real good time.
Maybe I am having a good time. But yeah, that was the biggest revelation for me this year, Grimy, is watching this back and realizing they are kidnapping kids for this. They're abducting children.
Yeah, this doesn't really make them any better than any of the monsters in the Power Rangers series, to be honest. Like, they just abduct maybe a couple dozen children, like, just randomly throughout the night. Like, what the fuck? Why are they able to do that?
Fucked up. And I think it's funny that we've got this overlap tonight of 2 specials from 1994, and we have concerns for the children in both specials.
Yeah, totally.
So you got, the Power Rangers, and they're abducting kids, and you got the Ninja Turtles, and they're hanging out under bridges with kids in a large metropolitan city. It's a bad look for both camps. Yeah. So I gotta ask, if anybody out there who made these specials is listening, what were you thinking? Does this, it's all in good fun until one of these kids dies on your watch. Then you have to explain to the parents why you stole them in the first place,
Totally liable.
Damn, dude, this got so much darker than I thought it was going to.
So, I like I said, I only watched this like once when I was a kid. Really hadn't watched it near as many times as I watched the Turtles one. Aside from child abduction, this really isn't that horrible.
We don't condone it. Let's just get that out of the way. Leftover pizza does not condone that, all right? So I don't want to hear anybody complaining or posting clips of this out of context online, we don't condone it.
Yeah,
all right,
not at all. But like I was saying, like the where the turtles kind of lack their turtleness, I guess to say, like they don't obviously look like them. Like you could, when I was a kid watching that film, I was like, this obviously is not these guys. I can't finish this because it just does not feel right. In the Power Rangers special, like Alpha is clearly Alpha. His voice is there. The costume is there. Zordon is clearly Zordon, albeit they took a couple of clips and just like put words over top of. I don't even think that's the real person behind the voice.
I think
on
it's
there.
a different. Yeah, I think it's a different voice for Zordon.
Right.
But kids are stupid, and a kid's not gonna notice that it's the wrong voice for Zordon or that his lips don't quite match up to what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's different between the turtles and this. So yeah, I agree with you. I will give them this in the fact that while it's not much of a production, at least the parts that do cross over and bleed into the actual Power Rangers series, they're up to snuff.
Oh yeah,
Alpha
absolutely.
looks right. Alpha is correct.
Yep. And just like you said earlier, like the Rangers, they're in their costume. They're in the real costumes. Like they're not. It's not something that is just made out of paper a few days ago or something. They didn't buy fucking Rower Rangers over at Dollar General. They bought. They have the actual
not just
suits.
a T-shirt with the logo on it, and they're in dungarees.
Yeah.
Just though I would love to see that. Honestly, that would be really really fun
if we can make it happen.
There's $5 in it for any existing Power Rangers who are still alive that want to, join the Leftover Pizza Magical Christmas Special. T-shirts and dungarees only, though. That's the dress code. I'm putting the offer out formally, $5.
Absolutely. Any takers? Anyone? No.
Crickets. just crickets. So, just a couple quick things that I wanted to mention about the production value. While it is definitely better than the Ninja Turtles one, it's still flawed. Not in the costumes that they're wearing, but the look of it. It is. It looks like they smeared Vaseline all over the lens of the camera.
Yeah,
did you notice that?
Absolutely. Yeah, especially when they showed the little pictures of Zordon, like over, especially like his mouth, so that you couldn't tell what he was actually saying. I was like,
yeah,
did they do this purposefully so it just kind of looks blurry? What the fuck?
Everything is very like glowy.
Yeah.
And very like luminescent.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's got a very distinctive look, and I don't actually hate it.
No,
because it does feel kind of warm and inviting. But I did notice it's a little weird. It's just it's maybe an odd choice. Not the worst choice that they made. The worst choice that they made, Grimy, is that the kids that they hired to do this special. I think it's just everybody who worked on the special. Like, I think it's their kids, like their own real homegrown kids that they brought into work.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're more than likely right.
Like, all of these kids are very clearly in their Christmas costumes.
Yeah.
Outfits. I'm sorry, not costumes. In their Christmas outfits. Like, these kids are going to midnight mass in these clothes, like, later on that day. And half of these kids, when they speak, it's like when they woke up that morning, none of them realized that they were going to be in a Power Rangers special. They were just like, hey, we have to do something before we go to T-ball tonight, okay?
Yeah.
And that kid was like, okay, but am I still getting my bowl cut first? And the dad was like, of course. And that kid showed up with a fresh fucking bowl cut, but didn't know any of his lines. And they're trying, but actors they are not. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I had to say about that. I just wanted to note, because whenever I get a chance to make fun of child actors on this show, I take it.
Dude, you do. You don't. You do not like hold back at all. You're like, this kid fucking sucks.
Rag on child actors. And the off chance that they're somehow listeners and I want to insult them fully and say it was a good thing that you didn't pursue that as a full-time career. I'm glad that you opened a barbecue joint. You did the right thing.
Yeah, yep. I'm so happy that you're still just little league coaching in your spare time. You keep doing that.
It's me, Steve Urkel. I just want this holiday season to be the best it can be. Oops. I want everything to be perfect for the big guy when he arrives. Now, who wants to head to the mall? They're lighting up the giant Christmas tree. Ow!
What he said.
Maybe there's a way to spread even more holiday cheer. I think I've got it.
You make a good point.
I built something to help spread a little of that holiday cheer. Woo-woo! Yes.
All right, everyone, get ready for your stocking stuffer. We've got one more special, I guess, in question here. This one's a new one, brand new, 2023, and it is Urkel Saves Santa, the movie.
That's the official title,
That's it.
by the way. The movie.
Yeah.
You're not kidding about this being new. We found out about this like a week ago, and it came out less than a week ago, and I bought it for the two of us to watch literally yesterday, and we both finished watching it like a half an hour.
Moments ago.
Like, literally, we just got finished watching this. Because, listen, in 2023, an animated Urkel Christmas special?
Dude, so out of left field.
I don't know. And we both were assuming that this was going to be one hell of a dumpster fire. So, like, we might as well lump it in with this little bonus episode.
Yeah. Whether it is or not, you know, we'll get to the bottom of it by the end of this bonus episode here. So, right off the bat, without any details, did you love it? Did you hate it? What's your thought?
I liked it.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I definitely didn't love it, but it was way more surprising to me, the quality of it, than I really assumed that it would be going into it. How about you?
I'm same as you, really. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's fine. You know, it's there. And I can't say that this is going to be one of the regular watches on my Christmas special list for the year. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to see it again. I'm fine.
Absolutely. I think its biggest drawback is that they made it, again, it's the movie. They made it a full-length movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think you and I were both not expecting it to be an hour and a half long. You sent me a text. I had actually bought it yesterday, and you got to it before I did. And you're like, this thing is like a full-length movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Yeah, man.
An hour and 30 minutes. It really is. Like, it could have been a little bit shorter. I wouldn't have been upset if it was like a tight 50 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it like not necessarily a 25-minute one like the other two specials we mentioned today, but like I don't think an hour and a half, like holy smokes. They really, and there's a lot that happens that didn't need to happen between here. It's a musical for one. There's a lot of random singing, random musical parts, and most of them I don't really get it. I could have dealt without the whole musical aspect of it altogether. I felt like most of it was kind of awkward and weird. That was just me.
Here's my thing about the music is that, well, it's going to bleed into the voice acting. I was actually shocked at how well Jaleel White's voice held up as a middle-aged man doing the Urkel voice. Like, it really, for better or for worse, it sounded like Urkel, like he did in his prime. Like, he didn't have that old man voice. It was good. I was shocked at how well it worked.
Yeah. And
I guess that's really the only way that you could continue doing the character is in an animated fashion, because nobody wants to see fucking 50-year-old Jaleel White doing Urkel. Like, that would just be sad. I think it would be. That being said, going back to your point about the music, I don't think that the music would have been as bad as it was. And I mean, it wasn't bad.
No.
But you could tell that they were doing a lot of vocal processing for him.
Yeah.
Like a lot of auto-tune and a lot of tweaking of his actual voice to get him to hit the notes that he needed to hit. It didn't sound right. Everybody else who was singing sounded great.
Yeah.
He was a little robotic, quite literally.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So I'm going to kind of skim through this plot as best as I can. What I got from it was Urkel is, he's a huge Christmas fanatic, and he does a lot of things for his community and like helps his neighbor celebrate Hanukkah and stuff like that. And he really just wants to make a good impression for Santa Claus. and like he's Urkel, so he's fucking up left and right, and that's what happens. Like he kind of psychs himself out for all these little projects that he sets himself up for, and it just kind of ruins everything he tries to plan at every corner. So he ends up meeting Santa Claus, and Santa Claus kind of helps him fix everything he did, I guess. It's a very confusing plot. Like this, like I keep saying, this movie didn't need to be this long. It really makes a lot of things kind of confusing.
It was convoluted.
I think that's the word I'm looking for.
That's what you're looking
it's really.
There was a lot more happening than needed to happen.
There really was.
But what I did like about it is that there was quite a bit of heart. This could have easily just been a real cash grab situation, and to a degree, I'm sure it is.
Sure,
it was. But there was a nice story told where they actually flesh out the Urkel character a bit more than just sort of a one-dimensional sitcom character, and it actually shows the more tender, like, caring side of the character. He's not just some asshole who keeps fucking up and ruining everybody else's life.
Right.
Like, there's a real purpose to it.
Yeah.
And they kind of show you how Urkel's brain works and why Urkel is the way that he is and how people perceive him, but really, and what his actual intent is at all times. So it's good in that regard, where we get a little bit more depth to a character that I don't think ever had a whole lot of it to begin with. So that was nice, and it adds like a little bit of an extra layer to him, like an onion, if you will.
Oh, yeah. Ogres, too. Ogres, they have layers, just like onions.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah. Very similar to that, that ideology. Yeah.
But like you said, it does have it's a nice story. Like it's meaningful. There's meaning in it if you're looking for it. You don't have to look too far. I had some like kind of dark undertones to it though too at times. Like the whole using an app for. So I don't want to give too much away is my problem right now. I'm trying to stay away from some spoilers, but
yeah, there's a lot of social commentary on the modern age thrown in there.
Yep.
That's for damn sure. If you've been following along at all in the past couple of years, and I imagine that most of you have because it's sort of unavoidable. If you know anything about Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Bezos, any of the big tech execs who are kind of pieces of shit, then there's a bit of that in there as well.
It's
so,
in there.
It's kind of a nice contrast between the roots of the late 80s and 90s where Family Matters started and having to drag the character into the 21st century and comment on modern times. So it's like, it's not super heavy-handed in what it's trying to say, but it does it and it's there. Yeah. So just know if you want a little Musk commentary in your Family Matters, this is the one to watch, I guess.
Yeah. I do want to comment a little bit about the animation. I do like the animation. I think, like, clearly it is obviously Urkel. Like, you could tell it's Urkel. This would be a great contender if they would have done something like this back in early 90s. Like, this could have been an awesome Saturday morning cartoon. This would fully have worked.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the animation style here. I think it really, really looks beautiful. Like, we've thankfully kind of gotten past the late 2000s era of animation where, and I'm not like saying this is true of everything, but there was definitely, you could tell like a learning curve where it seemed like a lot of people, like a lot of animation that was put out were still learning how to do 2D with computers. And there was some beautiful stuff, but there was a lot of stuff that I think like kind of looked a little cheap or like a little bit like flash animation.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that we are kind of starting to get animation again in 2D or even stop motion or whatever it might be that like looks nice, like that like really looks beautiful. And like this at times, like it did really look beautiful. Like it didn't just look like a made for TV thing, or it didn't look like like a Cartoon Network show circa, 2012 or whatever. Like it actually looked really good. In Warner Brothers Animation, they've kind of been consistently knocking that out of the park for the past 10, 15 years with all their superhero stuff, the Mortal Kombat stuff that they've been putting out. Like that all looks really good. So it's kind of not surprising that this looks as good as it does.
True. The last thing I personally want to comment on is there's not like a lot of throwbacks, but there are some. Like you're not going to find any other Family Matters cast. Basically, they're not there, but you will see Urkelbot and Stefano, man,
and Family Mattress.
Look
out
Family
for that
Mattress.
store if you do watch it.
I kind of forgot that one. Yeah. I have like a huge obsession with Urkelbot, like robots in general, but Urkelbot's among the top. He's just a badass character for me for some reason. I love his cartoon rendition, man. It's just so good.
Yeah, he was pretty great. Like I said, I mean, between what they pulled from, from the original series and what they brought in that was new, it was a nice little marriage. Just quickly wanted to point out, and I'm not going to give too much away here, but there are some pretty well-known voice actors in this, but like aside from Jaleel White, you can keep an ear out for Wayne Knight, aka Newman.
Yeah.
So he pops up in there. She's newer, and I don't know much of her stuff, but Nicole Byer is a modern comedian that a lot of people really love, and she makes an appearance as a character in there. So there's a lot of talented people behind it. So it's not like they just got some randos or people looking for a check. Like there's a lot of people who actually put a lot of time and effort and talent into it.
Yeah, totally.
It was good. It's good.
Okay. Yeah, that is pretty much how I wanted to end it here. I just want to know your overall conclusion here. What's your grading? What's your score on this one? It's good? It's just it's okay.
It's good. I'm not going to give it a number or an actual grade. I will say better than Good Burger 2.
Better than
That's
Good Burger
all
2.
you need to
Okay.
On a scale of better or worse than Good Burger 2, it's better.
Yep, that's a whole other bonus episode waiting to happen, I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. But
damn right it is.
For me, it's fine. It's fine. I do have my gripes with it. And I'm not gonna, beat the shit out of it right here, right now. It's Christmas time, man. That's not what this time's for, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's fine. I don't think I'll be watching it every single year.
Nope.
Might be one of them things that if my family members decide to come over and we get talking Urkel for some strange reason, and be like, oh yeah, he like had that weird Christmas thing. Here it is.
The perfect way to describe it is not that it ever would these days, but if this were a movie that they were showing on Cartoon Network during like one of their holiday blocks, if I happened to walk into a room and it was already on, I wouldn't shut it off and I would probably watch the rest of it.
Yep.
But I don't think I'm going out of my way, despite spending money on it, to ever put this back on again. Well, that's how I feel right now. Maybe 5 years from now, I feel differently about it. But, yeah, probably good with it. Like, probably definitely not a yearly watch for me.
I'm not gonna lie. You struck a nice note there with bringing that up. Like, I could totally... This would have probably got me just a little bit more had it been on. I was just passing through a Cartoon Network special and fucking Urkel. Like, I'm not passing up Cartoon Urkel on a Cartoon Network special. Like, come on. That would have been
That's
the
exactly
grabber.
what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I will close this off by saying I don't know if this is coming to Max. I would assume so because it's Warner Brothers Animation and they've got the tie with Max, HBO, whatever we're calling it these days. Don't spend money on it.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's worth the $15. I saw on December 5th, you can start renting it. So maybe you can rent it for like $5 or $6. Like it might be worth a $5 rental, but really just if you can hang in there and hopefully it comes to a streaming service. Cause I don't know that I would have spent or can recommend spending money on this.
As they say, good things come to those who wait.
Yup.
Well, that's about all the time I think we have for now. We want to apologize for the very late bonus show, but we got it in before November's end. Everything's good, squared away. We hope you are happy with it. We're as happy as we can be with it. I mean, we just talked about shitty Christmas specials. What more could you want?
I'm not apologizing for anything. You people got your show. It was a good show, a damn fine show. So enjoy it. I enjoyed it. We're all enjoying it. We're all having, what does he say? We're all the happiest assholes since Danny fucking K.
Bing Crosby and Danny fucking K.
That's it. Whatever. We're all that. That's what everybody here is.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being patrons. I really had a fun time with this one. Had way more to say than I thought that I would.
Yeah.
We're coming up on an hour here.
Absolutely.
And I'm shocked that we did that.
Yeah, we kind of, I'm not gonna lie, we kind of wung this one, but it wung exactly how we wanted to go. So probably just cut that part out.
Nah, I like the wung. I like wung.
We are the wung sung heroes. Yeah, that's about all the time we got for now. I think Derek said it as good as we possibly could. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you for listening, and we hope you are enjoying your holiday season so far. I know that we are, and we got 2 more episodes coming up for December, and that'll be it for this year, and who knows what we'll have for next year.
We're taking one big ass long slumber after that.
Yes.
And coming back in January with the slime special, where I strip Grammy down to his boxer shorts and dump slime all over him for 5 consecutive hours on Twitch live. And every time you folks donate just 1 penny, I'll dump another bucket of slime all over Grammy until he dies or I run out of slime. Whatever comes first. That's what 2024 has in store for you. Thank you and good night.
I mean, that dog will hunt. All right. Until next time, thank you for listening, and peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Okay, Ringo.
A Turtles Christmas.